Greene here is a part of founder of the islandproject.com, the number one asset class in the world with no bank debt. The best pieces of property worldwide in Maui, Oahu, Park City, Deer Valley, Utah. We just closed on a $6 million cash, all cash deal. If you know Park City, it's, in my opinion, the best ski area in the world. It's tripling in size just this year. The same people that developed Manhattan's Billionaires Row is developing an expansion of Park City. It's going to be absolutely incredible. For those of you tuning in, I just want to thank you for your likes and your shares, following us around the world as we expand and internationally diversify our amazing portfolio. Of course, you've been coming along for the ride with me and my entire family as we have hit Tokyo, Japan. Japan was absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, amazing, safe city. It's like 2 or 3 times the size of New York, if I remember correctly. Ridiculous food, great culture, amazing people. Singapore, one of my favorite city states in the world, absolutely lights out, insane, incredible. And you really get a different perspective of Asia that you don't see in the West. Now, again, as I've been saying in previous videos, what I see in Asia is completely different from what I see in the West. What I'm witnessing in Asia, Thailand, Bali, Booyah, I'm in Bali right now. Beautiful Bali. I'm going to take you on an incredible adventure today, which I'll post the video later on that adventure, visiting some of the amazing temples. I'll say that it's going to be incredible. It's going to be insane. But my point is, I see incredible division in the United States, incredible divisive politics, and I only see it in the West. I only see it in the USA. I only see it in the UK. I only see it in Europe. I see it nowhere else. When you go to Asia, even the media is completely different. You don't have the same kind of divide and conquer television shows and media pundits. There's no CNN or Fox News, although you can pull up some international discourse. But like, it's largely peaceful. And I think it's just important to know that while America has engineered intentional, by design, economic, financial, media, political chaos, the rest of the world is doing just fine. And Asia is, quite frankly, dominating, in my opinion. There's a ton of opportunity here as we see this power dichotomy shift now, today, presently, as the whole idea of government has shifted. And I want you to understand this. It's a primary concept of islandproject.com. The way that governments behaved and acted in the past century is over. Decentralized, free, steady states with a private ecosystem are the future of money, technology, community, societies, and governmental systems. Case in point, we see this not just in our amazing, beautiful project, along with thousands of members worldwide, completely decentralized, that now own these fantastic, fabulous properties that you previously couldn't afford. You know, never before in history has there been a technology that opened up the door for all of you. For just 30 units, you can own Maui. You can own Oahu. You can own Park City with us. You can own Bali, Thailand, Singapore, Tokyo. Never before has that happened. It's really amazing how technology has breached and opened up the barriers to entry into what I believe is the number one opportunity in the world, which has been blockchain technology, Bitcoin, real assets, real estate, and now what I believe wholeheartedly is the number one asset class will be tokenized real estate. Again, many of you follow me over the years from bitcoinrich.com. Since recommending Bitcoin under 1,000, you've seen how we've grown and progressed, along with all of our amazing people and subscribers and students and members and investors. And you see what I'm doing now is posturing and pivoting into the next big thing, the next big opportunity, the next 1,000x that a lot of people don't see yet, but is all going mainstream. Of course, we see this with BlackRock buying Bitcoin, securitizing Bitcoin. We see Vanguard and State Street, all of Wall Street moving. And we even see with Donald Trump's administration that largely most of his donor money is coming from Bitcoin billionaires now. So even from a political standpoint, Bitcoin and blockchain is so powerful, it essentially is the lobbyist crowd. It is the Peter Thiels of the world. It's the Elon Musks of the world. It's the technological elite that have been at the forefront of not just the internet, social media, e-commerce, but now blockchain, Bitcoin, and soon to be tokenized real estate, which were the first in the world to have successfully invented, launched, and successfully acquired properties using that method. It's really incredible. I encourage you to learn more on our website at islandproject.com. Fill out a members app, just 3 to 5 minutes. Talk to my father about rolling over your 401ks. You can self-direct your Roth accounts, for example, or your retirement accounts, where you actually have control over a no bank debt asset where you buy the best real estate in the world, along with our amazing team. You can also text my father, 808-442-2934. Now, I'm going to get into hyperinflation in a minute and how in the next 90 days, the worst hyperinflationary crisis in world history is set to commence. I believe it's happening now. I think we're seeing this in the financial markets. I think we see this with gold breaking new all-time highs. It is the canary in the coal mine. And I believe that America is in trouble. And I believe if you don't have your money out of the banks, you are in very, very deep, you know what. Things are going to get very bad in the States very, very soon. And I'm going to give you, really deep examples of what I really think is going on. Now, before I get started, I do want to welcome on board. We've had several new apps roll in just in recent days. We've had dozens of new members fund. In fact, I wanted to welcome aboard Darius, who just came in earlier this morning with 30K in Bitcoin. Congratulations, Darius. It's so amazing to have you on board the project. I'm going to go through a lot of names here just very quickly. And if I forget anyone, I'll make sure to mention you on the next video. We had another lovely lady come in yesterday as well with 30 units from Minnesota on my to-do list for a phone call. The name is escaping me, so I promise I'll mention it in the next call. It's a big, long list of people. I just want to honor you, everybody that's voting with their wallets, standing with freedom, standing with the general, standing with my team and my father, doing the right thing for you, your families, your money, and speaking out for freedom and liberty and doing something positive that's solution-oriented in an environment that's been, very troublesome as we see we're moving into the election period. And I think, the gloves are off, so to speak. Raymond Hirschberger came in with 30,000. He just finished his application out of Ohio. I wanted to welcome his app. Evan Steele just came in, $33,000, just filled out an application from Wisconsin. We also had Timothy S, 35K. He's out of, let's see here, don't see your home state. I'd have to look that up in the back end, which I don't have time to do. Welcome aboard. Dave S, 60 grand out of New Jersey. I have a lot of New Jersey investors. All of my East Coast investors, for example, now have an incredible opportunity with islandproject.com to utilize our state-of-the-art ski lodge in Park City, Utah. One of the reasons why we bought Park City Deer Valley, it provides some state diversification and provides some diversity and ease of use and access for our East Coast members. It's one of the reasons why we bought it. So I encourage you, as a member, contact my father. See what you need to book a reservation at all of our hosts of amazing properties across Hawaii and now Deer Valley. And also go over the tiers and those opportunities with my father so you can best make use of that, of course, for the upcoming winter season. Personally, I'm looking really forward to the events that we're holding in the wintertime. I have several members already scheduled for the Deer Valley residence. I'll be out there skiing. It's going to be absolutely incredible. And honestly, it was totally in God's hands, an act of miracle that we were even able to buy this property. Again, total cash deal, no bank debt. I think it'll be worth at least $10 million in the next few years with the expansion of Park City. It's in the number one location of Deer Valley, and we bought the only listing that was available in 2 years. So I want you to think about that. There hadn't even been an opportunity to buy something in this world exclusive ski resort where we particularly bought in 2 years. So it's a total act of God. I really, thank God for the opportunity. And it's not only an incredible investment, but it's a huge win and trophy asset for all of you tuning in. Dave S at 60K, Jim D at 60 grand out of South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. I got a lot of you out in South Carolina. I'm going to have to pay a visit one of these days. Also important to note, that we have hundreds of investors in Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. So a lot of you are asking me, well, Christopher, why are you in beautiful Bali? Why are you looking at property and acquiring these parts of the world like Thailand, where we can get huge value for our money? By massive estates. We have to do things a little bit differently, form corporations, et cetera. There's certain rules that we have to commit to. But there's a lot of Western expansion into these areas. Like Trump, for example, just bought, I think, like $20 million real estate in Bali here. So there's a huge opportunity now in these new locations, which are a little lesser developed, that have a lot more infrastructure potential as remote work has now opened up and the world is spreading. People like you tuning in, if you make your money online, you can work from anywhere in the world, just like I can. So that's a really cool opportunity. But one of the reasons why we're expanding internationally is for diversification. It's for risk management. Super fun. I mean, it diversifies our asset class and all of these other amazing countries. But in addition to that, these are easier access points for all my Australian ballers. So all of my Aussies, you know who you are, escaping tyranny. We're expanding here per your recommendation. I go where my investors tell me to go and where they tell me they want to see properties and where they tell us they want use and where they want us to buy as a part of this expanding, diverse, soon-to-be tokenized real estate portfolio of $33.5 million. You can see it's very common sense what we're doing with the portfolio. It's just a no bank debt asset. We own the best real estate. We do it with you fractionally. See if you qualify. It's a private placement. We filed with regulators 2 years ago on July 4th, 2022. And we've created a world exclusive asset that eventually is going to go public. Now, once that goes public, we're going to light up our $33.5 million. We don't know what that token value is going to be, but I believe just like a stock goes public, we're going to see it in the billions and billions and billions of dollars because we're the first in the world to produce this new technology. No one's done this yet. Again, we're the first people in the world to have successfully fractionalized the best beach and oceanfront real estate in the world. It's actually a huge accomplishment. My father always tells me, pat yourself on the back. Congratulations. I'm like, Dad, we just have so much more work to do. Like, I can't even celebrate because I'm so focused on the next major objective, of course, of our business plan. So very exciting. By the end of 2024 into 2025, our acquisitions will be fully complete. We're posturing for tokenization now, and the rest will be history. It's really going to get exciting once we tokenize because there's going to be massive liquidity brought into the project, which is then going to fund and light up further acquisitions. So, we have a $33.5 million funding round. That'll turn into flagship 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see how we'll easily have over a couple $100 million under management, even without tokenization, in the very near future. For more information on that, of course, fill out an app at islandproject.com or talk to my father. Aldo from California, El Cajon, if I'm saying that correctly, just filled out an app for 50 grand. We also have the Burroughs Family Holdings, LTD. They're out of Queensland. Again, one of our investors here, closer to where I'm currently at, with 30K. For those of you who don't know, we are a legacy asset. You can, use you could set up LLCs. We've had friends do this where, 2 or 3 guys get together, they form an LLC to meet the standard of the 30K. That's another opportunity for those of you that want to kind of crowd, fund the investment yourself. We also have people, of course, rolling over trusts and those kinds of things as well. So all those opportunities are available to you. They're very easy. It's not hard. We are the best investment in the world for a reason, and we've pivoted, postured for the greatest liquidity event, capital gains, cash flows, of course, annually that has never been invented before. It really is that incredible. For example, you can buy a REIT, but you can't use the REIT. A REIT is highly levered with tons of debt. You can't use the properties, okay? And you really don't know what you're buying. Same thing with stocks. Stocks are a representation of paper, of highly levered companies that are then spliced up and you get a piece of paper. You can't use the stock. You don't have access to any of the capital investments. You can't meet the team. You don't get any advice. You're not able to talk to anyone. You don't get to talk to Tim Cook or any of these other people. What's so unique about what we've done is our investment is actually a community asset class. It is a privately owned community asset class outside of the system that's crumbling. And we have taken full advantage of the hyperinflationary crisis that is currently ahead of all of us. I'll mention one more person, Michael K, if I didn't, because I didn't want to miss you. And there's a beautiful woman who I just am missing the name right now because we had so many on board within the last 24 to 48 hours that it's just slipping my mind. You know who you are, and you will be giving a call. I know you're out of beautiful Minnesota. It'll come to me in a second. You're an accomplished musician, and your father's a minister. My father had great things to say about you. Maybe someone will text me, but I'm on the same phone where I can't look it up. So the general's memory. I need a little bit more coffee there. I think it's Lynn. I believe it's Lynn. Yeah, the general does have a good memory. So Lynn, just congratulations, 30K just onboarded. We're so freaking excited. I do want to actually just do a shout out just because it's hit my mind of one of my big ballers, Rob Escott. You know who you are, out on the East Coast, freaking Diamond Nuts, bro. Love ya. Him and his daughter are coming out. His daughter, I know at least, is going to fly out and visit us in Oahu very soon and stay at our beachfront condo in Waikiki. So we're so freaking stoked about what we're building. It's truly an honor. Now, I wanted to give you guys an example here. I have a big day planned, so I'm not going to make this a long video. I'm going to keep it action-oriented. But I wanted to give you an example of what the Indonesian rupiah looks like. Okay, so this is the Indonesian rupiah right here. Okay, it looks like a lot of money, right? Okay, it's actually not, but I'm proving a point with this. So this is the Indonesian rupiah. As I go to other countries, I think it's fun, to exchange some fiat for the host country's fiat just to see what it looks like. Now, this is 50,000 Indonesian rupiah. I think the exchange is to $1, like 15,000 rupiah. But just to give you an example, what I hold in my hand, like take a guess how much this is worth. Take a guess how much this is. This is the Indonesian rupiah. Like I was actually surprised myself. I was getting it exchanged, and I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you how much it is. $300, and it starts printing out a machine like I'm the Godfather or something. Like I'm out of the movie Scarface, right? The scene where it's counting all the money. This is only $300. Okay, so again, this just proves the point too, how fiat currencies, whether or not it's the Indonesian rupiah, or it's the yen, or it's the US dollar, or it's the Thailand currency, what is it? Been to so many countries, it's escaping me. Somebody help me out. Baht. It's the Thai baht, or it's any other fiat worldwide, Singaporean dollar, whatever. It proves the point that your money is becoming worth less and less. That the fiat papers that aren't backed by anything, and again, the US dollar is backed by nothing, guys. Before JFK was taken out, what did he want to do? End the Federal Reserve. He was actually breaking up the CIA. He was going against the system of this stuff. He was going against central banks having carte blanche over the United States wealth creation and power of the purse to print fiat from nothing and to eradicate the real value of US dollars. So here's my point, and this is actually what I think is going to happen that I think a lot of you underestimate and you miss. You're like, Christopher, where's the collapse? Where's World War III? Well, you're in it, and these events will transpire. You're already at war with Russia. You're at war in Ukraine. You're at war in Israel, Gaza, Lebanon. The list goes on and on. You're at war with Iran. There's been some very public assassinations recently that I'm sure, and attempts that I'm sure you're well aware of. So this is World War III, guys. But it's being fought, fourth, fifth generationally with a lot of tactics that a lot of people aren't accustomed to. Now, I've said this for years. The easiest way to overthrow a country is by stealing its wealth. Same thing with Vikings coming over and invading a foreign territory or something like that. The first thing you do is you come in and you pillage the town. This is what's been going on at central banks with the Federal Reserve policy in all Western countries across the world. We even see this in Japan. They're printing currency at zero, lending it out to Wall Street at a couple percentage points, and they're investing those cheaper dollars and now expatriating it back in the yen carry trade. We see this even among the world's billionaires. In fact, it just came out that Carl Icahn, who's a very famous Wall Streeter, had actually margined his own personal accounts $5 billion. Like, I want you to think about this. It's a big hoopla right now in the news. Another reason why we have no bank debt, because number one, I believe it's wrong. I think it's spiritually incorrect. God, frankly, advised us against it. It's definitely harder to build our portfolio with no bank debt, but it assures our success. Again, the way we designed things at islandproject.com was to win under any circumstance. It was to win with the hyperinflation. If we know prices are going up, we know that world leaders are malfeasant and they're corrupt and they're just going to keep printing currency into infinity. Well, then we're going to make sure all of our members profit from the hyperinflation, which they are. They're doing this in Maui along with us. They're doing this in Oahu. They're doing it in Park City, Utah. They're doing it across the host of countries that we're now visiting and we're in active acquisition for. Because again, it's very obvious to see. Like, again, my argument has always been to the American public, if you know what's going on, you're educated enough, you're following the news, you're following all these great podcasters and media personalities, et cetera. We all know who these people are. You're tuning into them. You know, I'm mostly in the private markets now, you know, focused on Island Project. But like, if you know what's coming, you might well profit from it. Other misconceptions that I hear a lot of the times is people will say, Christopher, you know, I just can't wrap my head around Bitcoin or blockchain. I just don't really understand it. And then I'll even hear criticisms like, you know, Christopher, do you think it's the mark? No, I don't. What I actually think the mark is the US dollar. I believe that the mark of the beast is the central bank. I believe that the mark is US crappy fiat worth nothing that's destroying you and your family's future. That's the mark. So my advice, and I have to say it's not financial advice, but what I do with my own money, what my investors do is we move our money into capital assets with no bank debt that keep up and grow with inflation, that well exceed inflation, and we do it with no bank debt because it's a sure thing. So you want to move your money out of the banks, number one. Also, too, I'm heartbroken for young families. Like, if you're a young family, I think I was the last generation that was upwardly mobile. For example, I think it'll be a lot harder for my own children. You see them, you know, running behind me there with the rest of the family here periodically. But I think it'll be a lot harder for them. So if you're a baby boomer, I think your grandkids are in, you know, your kids are in a really difficult position because their ability to upwardly move ahead in life is pretty much at zero. And I'll give you an example. Even if you have a good job, even if your income and you're getting a pay raise every single year, your income is growing every year, you're still not keeping up with hyperinflation. Now that hyperinflation is here, the prices of housing, the prices of food, the prices of rents, the prices of healthcare, all of these things are moving exponentially, but your wage incomes aren't. So even if you're doing the best that you possibly can do, you go to college, you get the great degree, you come out, you know, you're making $150,000 a year. I honestly don't think that's enough. I really don't believe you're going to get ahead. And that is why I had to really sit back and think about what the opportunities of the future were, how we could fight back against the system economically, peacefully, spiritually, with our businesses, with the wealth that I had created in Bitcoin and blockchain. I had to really think, well, where is the opportunity? Where is it that the average American, you tuning in, could actually fight back, participate in the best assets in the world, make money, protect their families during hyperinflation, world war, capital controls, economic collapse, political hysteria, organized intentional division in the West, in places like Europe and the USA, complete open borders, and the rest of the destabilization that's actively taking place? Well, I think you know the answer. It's islandproject.com. It's why I've personally invested tens of millions of dollars of my own capital into the project, along with my team, along with my father, along with all of our members, because it is the opportunity. It is the solution. And you're going to see more of this in the future because as people get priced out, and I want you to think about this too. The fact that new technology allows people like me to fractionalize real estate will also guarantee the prices keep going up. Because the fact that you can now own these assets, even without leverage, the fact that you can get in for 30K creates leverage among the group. So it creates physical leverage, assures prices keep going up. Same thing with blockchain technology, how blockchain is opening up fractional ownership. Bitcoin's fractional. You can own $1 worth of Bitcoin. You're going to want to own more of that due to fees, because every time you send money, it's going to cost like $10 or whatnot or something like that, or a little bit more to process those confirmations. You're going to want at least a couple $100 worth of Bitcoin, but you can buy a couple $100 worth of Bitcoin. That was another concept people didn't understand for years. Like, Christopher, I don't have 10 grand. I don't have 5 grand to buy a Bitcoin. I don't have 60 grand today or 58K or whatever. You don't need to buy a full Bitcoin. You can buy it fractionally. So fractionalization opens up liquidity. The liquidity markets are exploding, and it's another reason why crypto is guaranteed to soar higher. It's why I predicted that BlackRock would move to it. It's why I told you that the politicians didn't know what they're talking about, that they would later convert, just like what we're seeing with Trump. And the real reason for that, the reason why Trump and others have converted to Bitcoin, and they're now huge Bitcoin advocates, and they even sell products using crypto and blockchain and all these things, is because the political power comes from Bitcoin now. Political power and lobbying power and the donations are coming from people like me. I think a lot of you think sometimes because I critique Trump or any politician that I'm somehow against him, when I'm not. I'm just somebody who will critique and, giving you the alternative opinions of what I see going on. And I call things like I see them. And, my viewpoint on things and integrity is that I will always call out inconsistencies that I don't like. Like, I'm an open book. I always tell you how I feel. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't pretend to be perfect or anything, but I'm pointing out that there's a reason why these political figures, told you to stay away from Bitcoin and then now are all for it. It's because Bitcoin has circumvented political power, and essentially those of us that own Bitcoin, own fractional assets, own the real estate island project, along with all of our members, we're the ones that are at the forefront of the new technology wealth creation curve. I hear all the time, the internet's so incredible, Chris. It would have been amazing to start a social media channel like you years ago and bought Google stock during its Dutch auction when you sold it at Merrill Lynch. It would have been so incredible if I was early to Bitcoin along with you and bought it under 1,000. I wish I would have done that. And then it's like, I tell you what to do now, and it's going through one ear and out the other. Islandproject.com. Fractional, soon to be tokenized real estate. We've already deployed the capital, ladies and gentlemen. We're 95% funded. So make sure you get in. Is the future of money, technology, community, government power, and number one, wealth creation. And you should care about that. You should care about that in the world where they're stripping that away from you. Again, what's the agenda of the so-called elites? You will own nothing, you will be happy, you will rent everything. So basically what they're doing is removing true, real ownership. We're giving it to you. We've empowered real, true ownership and done it democratized in Robin Hood fashion, while these evil people want to remove it from you. You're a young kid. One of the things that I found very challenging when I was growing up is I didn't have that gosh darn down payment for my first house. Right? It was very difficult. That was right prior to 2008-09. Prices started skyrocketing. It was like, scrummaging up 50 grand or 100 grand or more, whatever it was, 30 grand even, was very difficult at that time. And then, I'd save 30K and I'd be like, oh, I want to buy the house. And the price kept going up and then I still couldn't get in. Well, the same thing's happening now. So even for you youngsters out there, which I know you're not youngsters, it feels that way since I'm 43 now. And for those of you in your 20s or coming out of school, man, I wish someone would have created Island Project, because I could have deployed my 30K, parked it, owned a true asset, not just any asset, but like literally $5 million Maui beachfront. I could even visit it, touch it, hang out there, get paid cash flows. And then when I was ready in the future, say 5 years from then, after saving more money, I could, sell at a profit. I could take half. I could take all of it. Or, as many are finding, the best wealth creation tool, as you've heard other people talk about, sometimes it's actually not owning your primary residence. Sometimes the best way to create wealth is to buy investment class assets and not your home residence. And so we're seeing that too as a real economic, not just trend, but like a truth. We hear this from other people that you may tune in as well, because a lot of the times your personal house isn't the best investment. You're completely concentrated in it. You have to manage the property. If something breaks down, you have to pay for it. there's obsolescence of the appliances or something turns in the neighborhood. You have all your risks stored in one place. That's not the case with Island Project. We manage it for you, professional team. We pay all the taxes and insurance based on property type, vacation zone, whatever they are. It's all done for you. It's completely turnkey. And our management company doesn't even make any money unless you do. Again, talk to my father about this. Like, you'll talk to my father and it'll blow your mind what this opportunity is. How it's been designed and how it's diversified, not just in a typical house, like a single family home. It owns what you see behind me. It owns those properties that are the diamonds that you normally can't get into. So everything that islandproject.com owns, best in the world, on the beach, near the ocean, Waikiki beachfront, Maui beachfront, ocean views, and each property is, average about like $3 to $5 million plus. We have a few flagship properties that I think will exceed 10, 20, 30 million in the future by themselves. But like bread and butter is we're moving in, we buy like $5 million property. Like Park City was $6 million. We paid 5.95 for it. And you can Zillow it today. It's already trading above 6 million. It's only been like 2 months. Because again, hyperinflation is the biggest risk to America. Hyperinflation is the biggest factor in this economic collapse. Hyperinflation, which I believe you have less than 90 days, where we have 75 days till the US election, guaranteed to continue. It doesn't matter what president gets in, they're both going to print to infinity. The interest payments alone now exceed the debt payments on that, the entire national defense budget in the United States. It's over. There's nothing they can do. I mean, God bless whoever gets into the White House. I hope it's Trump, but like, there's nothing you can do, guys. It's over. Like, it's at the point now where they can't stop the debt train. Now, he can probably clean some things up, maybe finish the wall, deport people, strengthen geopolitical ties. That would be very helpful. So we're respected again. He can take America back in a lot of ways like that. But regarding the money printing and the economy, you're done. Lights out. It's over. Expect more hyperinflation, bailouts, economic collapse. And we haven't even seen the 1929 moment yet. So again, the new world is a new system that's a lot more horizontally, vertically integrated into the world dynamic. It's a lot more international. It's freer in a lot of ways with remote work and the ability to make income and money and to source new investment classes and opportunities like I tell you about every single day that we've already built and constructed. That's a growing trend. And it's very much of a sovereign individual, sovereign mindset. You should really read the book, The Sovereign Man, which pretty much predicted the future. I read it, 10 years ago or whatever it was, which told you how society would be built in the future. It would be built with decentralized communities, with freedom communities like ours, of independent minds that had found new solutions and then harnessed technologies to create leverage and wealth creation for those members. And those would be the people thriving. It's the same thing now. Most of the money is made with those that are in technology, that are in social media, that sell products online. All the world's billionaires are not steel magnates, they're tech magnates. So again, it's in computer science. But the new computer science is AI, it's blockchain. Blockchain is AI. And this is a lot of what you guys, I think, don't understand. And every country has to move this direction. There is no other option. So it's a guarantee to move this direction. All right, guys, I got to run because I'm about to, I'm just going to save it. Follow me on Instagram, by the way. We've just been blue check marked on Instagram and Facebook. Our only official accounts at AMTV Media, but we're going to be having quite an adventure today. And I'm going to do a separate video just showing you some of the amazing opportunities, the amazing culture, the amazing wildlife, some temples, some really cool activities that we're going to be doing today. And I'll produce that in a secondary video. Big shout out to our investors, Lynn. See, I didn't forget your name, Lynn. I love you. God bless you. Listed about 12 different member investors that just came in and filled out applications with us. It's such an honor. And again, what's so cool about this, I'm speaking to you from all over the world. So now, as we open up these opportunities in Thailand and Bali, all of our Australian, Asian investors, Tokyo investors, everybody coming from New Zealand, etc., can get to much easier destinations. Same thing with the East Coast. And for those of you that are our investor members, I encourage you to reach out to my father because we are booking up fast. I'm in Park City, Utah. So if you want some time in Park City, Utah, talk to my father about the tiers and about making a reservation for this upcoming winter season. Again, it's going to be packed. So the best times are, right in between that December all the way through March and spring skiing. There's opportunities in the summer as well. So inquire about that because honestly, the summers are arguably even cooler than the winters. Like fly fishing out there was amazing. If I lived in Park City, I would fly fish every day. Like it was the most peaceful, amazing thing I've ever done. I would just be out hiking in the woods. Like it's so awesome and precious. So take advantage of these opportunities. Get on a positive mindset. Understand, don't let the world steal your joy and the media steal your joy. I'm guilty of this too, man. Sometimes it gets me down. I'm just being honest. But like, we can't let that happen. We have to understand that God is in power, that He is our miracle worker. That even when it feels like we're in an off season and things aren't going our way, or maybe the country is deteriorating and things aren't going our way, that it's God's plan. Can I get an amen? And God is going to have His will, not just over our country, but over our own lives. And so we need to be faithful even in times of darkness and insecurity and misunderstandings and not really knowing what's going to happen next when things feel dark, just like we give all glory to God when it is our season and the sail is, blowing in the wind and, you're getting the promotion or you're finding the cure for disease or whatever it might be. So I just want to lift you all up today. And I also just want you to know that, it's not people that are in power or that are in charge. It's not the people or a person or a doctor or any of these people that's going to determine your success or the cure. God is. God has the last word on all of that. So never lose that faith. Always walk faith forward. I encourage you to do it with us. I love all you tuning in. We know who the king is. It's Jesus Christ. And I love all of you. But hyperinflation is here. It's going to get much worse, guys. It's a guarantee, no matter what. So it's a win-win. You got to get your money out of the banks and pour it into real assets now while you still can. Buy real estate along with us and our incredible team. And if you have any questions, just talk to my dad. He's a real guy, man, and he'll give you some great advice. And he'll even tell you if he doesn't think the investment's for you. Like, again, we're here as fiduciaries to help all of you navigate the storm, navigate what's going on, see if it's the appropriate fit, help you with your rollovers, speak very plainly and honestly about what we do and what we've built. And I encourage you, let my father take you through all the host of properties that we've already acquired. He can take you through our business plan, our vision a little bit. And if you have any questions, just let us know. We're here to help. And I have a lot of calls to make later today as well. So just be assured that I will be reaching out to each and every one of you. And I also want to welcome Darius, who just rolled in with his 30K Bitcoin earlier this morning. It's an honor. We accept ACH, wire transfer, debit, credit card, and of course, prefer crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, which has been pumping recently, and the other host of blockchain technologies. Just inquire with my dad on any of that, but you can do it right in Portal, very simply. I love you. It's time to fire up the helicopter. So follow me on Instagram. It's going to be fun. And we're going to be looking and hanging out with some monkeys today. So I'm going to make sure they don't steal my cell phone or my fiat currency that I was showing you, which is only a couple $100. I love you all. God bless.